Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to have some Division 19 gameplay on the latest UFC patch, which is 7.0, and it's going to be the lightweight division. We're going to be using Alexander Volkanovski, and my opponent's going to be using Justin Gaethje, and we're both Division 19 players. I believe he has one win over me as well, which you're going to see in the next part of the video. And before we get into the actual gameplay side of it and breaking down the new patch, over the next coming weeks, I think the next 2-3 weeks, I've got videos scheduled to come out per week. I think I've got 4 videos for each week, and that's going to be on the last patch. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get some new gameplay and mix it in. So we'll have some old patch gameplay and some new patch, and that'll probably be around 5 videos maybe per week, just so you guys have some form of new patch gameplay. And this is going to be the start of that. So this is my first or second game under the new patch, and we've all been really excited for this, and they've made quite good adjustments, as you're going to see from this fight here. I mean, the calf kick is something that has been needed to be added for a long time. As you can see there, I land the calf kick. The opponent does as well. The new blocking animation I think is a lot better, and that's really cool. And leg kicks now can finally be used effectively from a closer range, which is what the game's needed, and I feel like they do more damage as well now. I'm not sure if that's just a placebo, because this fight here I'm going to display to you some brutal leg kicks, and you can now have a very leg kick heavy game plan, and this gameplay here will do a good job of showing that. I mean, in the patch as well, they've also nerfed some of the takedowns from the clinch, I believe. They've made the deny window a little bit greater, which is always good. And the main thing is the block breakers that dominated on the patch before now can't. As you can see here, my opponent's been very aggressive. I believe maybe in the last patch, he was one of the opponents that would push forward, look to break the block, and use that sort of exploit to win fights. And now with this patch they've made it so it's not as easy for players to do that. You can weather the storm a bit more, which I'm happy with. It's a bit more realistic. I mean, there's times in this fight where if it was the patch beforehand, I would have been done, my block would have been broken, and my opponent just would have finished me really. But because of the new patch and how you're able to survive now, that's made it better. The blocking animation is really good as well. So getting into the fight now, as you can see, my opponent's been very aggressive with Justin Gaethje, which is what you want to do really. You want to be in your opponent's face, but I don't see this playstyle being used, isn't going to be used much anymore, just because it's harder to finish fights like this. It's really hard to push the pace as my opponents do now, because you're going to lose more stamina now than you did before, and you're not going to be able to break the block as well. And as you can see, I'm going for these leg kicks a lot. I'm sneaking them in. I mean, my game plan with Volkanovski was to throw leg kicks, because I wanted to see the new animation and see what sort of damage they can do now. And the blocking animation is so much better now. It looks so much more realistic, which is one thing I think they've done really well with. And I mean, this is the patch we've been waiting for ages, and it's finally come. I'm just surprised a new season didn't come with it. I was expecting to have a new season with it, but maybe we'll get a new season soon. And my opponent here clinches me, drives me towards the fence. I thought he was going to take my back here and look for a takedown, but I ended up getting out. There's only 5 seconds left of this round, so nothing major can happen. And going into round 2, I got all the necessary reads I needed from round 1. I mean, like I say, round 1 I always take off. I always look for patterns from my opponent and how my opponent's playing. And I got the necessary reads coming into this round. I mean, I saw that my opponent was very aggressive. My opponent liked pushing the pace, which was fine with me. And I'm using my head movement here to get away from my opponent's punches and put my opponents towards the cage. And as you can see here, their leg kicks are starting to take a ridiculous amount of damage. I mean, the calf kick animation is beautiful. I can't wait to use someone like Aldo, Barboza, them type of fighters, Jared Cannonier, and just see how effective these head kicks really are. I mean, Volkanovski has got great leg kicks, as you can see here. I'm really doing damage with my opponent. I mean, he's got the five-star lead leg, which now goes to a calf kick depending on the range you're in. And I was sneaking these in throughout the whole first round, doing enough damage to the point where now it doesn't take much to actually drop my opponent. And as you can see here, my opponent lands a beautiful head kick as I go for the leg kick, gets the drop on me, goes for the 2 knees, and then went for that uppercut, which normally drops you, but I think maybe because of the adjustments he have made, that clinched uppercut now does less damage. I mean, I think that should have been nerfed in the sense that he shouldn't be that fast, the uppercut coming out of it. You should have time to dodge it. However, I don't think that adjustment was made in this patch, maybe the next one. And as you can see, I'm staying calm, and now my opponent's adopting a very clinch heavy gameplay, clinching me where possible and pushing me towards the fence. And I'm just trying to work in my leg kicks. I mean, whenever I'm in range, I'll just throw one on when my opponent's not expecting it. The beautiful thing about the calf kick now is you can throw them from literally inside the pocket, which is very reminiscent to what Justin Gaethje actually does in real life. And overall, I'm very impressed with the new patch. I'm very excited. I mean, I've only had a couple games with it, but it's something that I've been looking forward to now for ages, and the whole UFC 4 community has. And as you can see, these leg kicks are doing so much damage. It's just so nice to watch leg kicks finally be implemented and actually doing some form of damage. I mean, before you could obviously get leg kick knockdowns, but it used to take a lot longer, and you couldn't really throw them from inside the pocket just because the animation, it'd go across the opponent towards the back leg, and if you threw it from that sort of range, you'd end up getting punished. And you see I'm trapping my opponent against the fence here, and I'm landing these calf kicks nicely because I'm in range for them. And the best thing is now with the leg kicks is when you trap your opponents against the fence, not only can you throw them from that short of a distance, but when they're circling to the left or right, you can clip them with the leg kicks, which will result in a stun. And as you can see, this is definitely a 10-8 round. I mean, I've dropped my opponent multiple times, and my opponent has no answer for these leg kicks just because of how damaged they are from the prior round, and he took an absolute beating through this round. And this is another reason why using Alexander Volkanovski is amazing, is that he's extremely well rounded. It is you can adopt a leg kick heavy game plan now, as you can see from this gameplay here. I mean, my opponent switches stances, but that doesn't do much because the other leg's already hurt. I'm driving my opponent towards the fence. I'm using distance management as well, because I know my opponent likes to throw these big strikes. Now that he's put towards the corner, he's going to, and as you can see, I get the beautiful left hook finish as my opponent tries to sway away from the fence. And yeah, so that was my first gameplay on the new patch. Overall, I'm very impressed and very excited to see more gameplay and see how the game feels over the course of the next coming weeks. But yeah, you've done a good thing here. Very excited with the leg kicks, as you can see, and yeah, you can now finally adopt a leg kick heavy game plan, which is good. So that was the video. The stats are gonna come up now. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.